Jeopardy! Star Mattea Roach has shared that they were struggling to get by before their massive success on the game show. The 24-year-old Canadian wunderkind got candid about their pre-Jeopardy financial situation in a new video interview with the CBC. "I was actually on EI when I was taping Jeopardy," Mattea told the outlet on Wednesday. EI stands for Employment Insurance in Canada, which provides temporary income support to unemployed workers. "I had to file my little no, yes, no form while I was taping Jeopardy, . And I, of course, got docked for being out of the country, and they asked, 'Were you out of the country looking for work?' And I was like, in a sense," Mattea joked, referring to their 2023 Jeopardy streak, which would, thankfully, change their tax bracket. "I was out of the country chasing a fortune. But that's not something the EI people want to hear, right?" Mattea explained their financial situation even impacted their Jeopardy strategy, and was the reason they didn't make risky wagers. They admitted the right strategy on the show is to bet big on daily doubles, which they didn't feel comfortable doing. "So I was not in a position where I felt comfortable throwing around house money," they added. "Because it meant something to me, really concretely. If you were more financially comfortable and used to wagering money, you would just realize the right thing to do is go big." Fans may recall Mattea not playing James Holzhauer's game during their initial run and famously lamenting on-screen after a correct daily double, "I should have wagered more." Mattea's money moves. Mattea was working as a tutor for law students when their winning streak began in 2022. They were a huge draw for their signature wrist flicks, tattoos, bold outfits, and knowledge base. Mattea didn't hide their financial status and exclaimed upon their first win, "All my student loans are paid off." In the new interview, Mattea brought up that moment and shared that they didn't actually use their winnings to pay off their student loans. When their streak ended, Canada happened to have ended interest on student loans, so Mattea said they never paid it off and used the money to improve their credit score. Ultimately, Mattea won 23 games and $560,983 during their initial run. This made them the youngest ever super champion, or 10-plus game winner, and the longest-running Canadian contestant. Tragic loss. Mattea participated in Masters Season 1 and 2 on ABC, ultimately earning $810,000 from the show. They nearly won Masters 2023, catching fire in the finals but ultimately losing to James Holzhauer and placing second. The near-upset win was all the more inspiring as Mattea's father, Philip Henry Roach, died while the tournament was taped. Mattea tearfully revealed the loss on stage, saying they were dedicating their performance to him at one point. "My dad passed away at the start of the month very suddenly. He's a huge part of the reason why I'm here," they told Ken Jennings. "So I wanted to, in what might be my last game of the series, recognize the impact he had on my life. And also recognize, I was actually here at the set when my dad died. And everyone here, my fellow contestants, I cannot ask for better support during what was the worst day of my life. Thank you to everyone," they said. "Everyone who made sure I could go home and be with my mom and brothers." The crowd clapped and Ken said, "Mattea," while visibly shaken up. "Everyone here is so heartbroken." Speaking as a dad, Philip must have been so proud to see you play Masters. When declared the champion, Holzhauer whispered, "Your dad would be so proud of you." "I hope to return to the Jeopardy stage someday feeling hungry to win and hopefully in a position to turn in a better performance than I did this time. Dream job." Now, the game show star is focusing on media, having announced on Tuesday they'll be hosting a literature radio show called Bookends with Mattea Roach on the CBC this fall. Mattea shared the announcement on their X account, writing, "Some personal news." They added, "I'm enough of a cynic that I gave up on the idea of a dream job forever ago, but if reading books and interviewing authors for the national public broadcaster isn't a dream job, I don't know what is." Bookends begins airing September 8th. I am so proud and excited. Bookends with Mattea Roach will air on CBC Radio 1 on Sundays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time starting September 8th. Mattea Roach sat in the small, sparsely furnished apartment that had been their home for the past few years, reflecting on how far they had come. The past was a series of challenges, yet it was also the foundation of the incredible transformation that had occurred. It wasn't so long ago that Mattea had been scraping by, relying on government benefits just to make ends meet. Now, they were a celebrated Jeopardy champion, with over $810,000 in winnings to their name. But the journey to that moment of victory was as compelling as the success itself. Struggles before the spotlight. Before Mattea's rise to fame, their life was anything but glamorous. Born and raised in Nova Scotia, Mattea had always been a bright, inquisitive child. They excelled in academics, particularly in history and literature, but despite their talents, they found it difficult to secure a stable job after graduating from university. Like many recent graduates, Mattea faced a job market that was less than welcoming. The realities of student loans, rent, and everyday expenses quickly became overwhelming. The economic pressure led Mattea to apply for government benefits, a step they never thought they would have to take. It was a humbling experience, Mattea recalled in an interview. There's a stigma attached to receiving government assistance, and I was always concerned about how it would be perceived by others. But it was a necessary step for me at that time. I wasn't financially comfortable, and I needed help to get through that period. Government benefits provided a safety net, but it was far from a comfortable existence. Mattea lived frugally, cutting costs wherever possible. Their social life became more limited as they focused on just getting by. There were times when I wasn't sure how I was going to pay rent or buy groceries, Mattea admitted. It's a difficult position to be in, especially when you know you're capable of so much more. The dream of Jeopardy! Despite the financial hardships, Mattea never lost their love for learning. Jeopardy! Had always been a favorite show, and they watched it religiously. The show was more than just entertainment, it was an intellectual challenge, a place where knowledge was celebrated. The idea of becoming a contestant on Jeopardy! Was something Mattea had always dreamed of, but it felt like a far-off fantasy, especially given their financial situation. But as they struggled through their daily challenges, Mattea began to think more seriously about the possibility of competing on Jeopardy! It was a crazy idea, but I realized that I had nothing to lose, Mattea said. I had been through so much already, and I thought, why not take a shot at something that could change my life? With determination and a sense of purpose, Mattea began preparing for the Jeopardy! Online test. They dedicated hours to studying, reviewing old episodes, and practicing with friends.